Hello and welcome to Onward Productions series, Figuring It Out. I'm Ganel-Lyn and I am so grateful that we are starting episode 5. And I hope that you've been able to visit our previous 4 episodes of Figuring It Out and that it's blessed you in some way as you're wrestling, just like I am, with figuring things out. So today, from the title, I hope you are intrigued a little or your interest is piqued on what your fishes and loaves might be. Recently, I host a number of shows, video series, and podcasts, one of which is called The Middle. It's on the Saints Unscripted channel, and I've talked about it here previously. But if you're a fan of The Chosen, then you're going to maybe be excited to hear what I'm going to share with you. If you've never watched The Chosen, I invite you to do it. It's free. You can download the app. You can watch it on the BYU TV channel. There's multiple ways. You can order the DVDs. It's worth owning. So on The Middle, I was able to invite the director and creator of The Chosen, who is not a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, but is a Christian, to come and visit me on the Yellow Couch, which is where I tape my show, The Middle. And we had a wonderful interview. I highly suggest you checking it out. It's on my YouTube channel if you want to subscribe and hop over there. But I loved this conversation because I love the Jesus of The Chosen. And I love the ways the series showed Jesus's life and his disciples and his healings and miracles. And I love the diversity. I love the struggle. I love the reality, the mortality that's depicted. And I so appreciated. I was giddy to have the director creator on the show, and he came on the show and he shared some backstory. He had always had a dream of becoming this, movie producer in Hollywood that's successful with a big blockbuster. He had had some previous projects that had had some success, and then he had an opportunity to partner and create something really big with some big Hollywood studios, and it tanked, and he lost everything and was starting over and really was in a dark place. And maybe you can relate to that, especially here on Figuring It Out, where we're kind of wrestling with and figuring things out. And he said he's so grateful that he had that experience because it really helped him see this dream that he always carried, what it felt like to have it for a time. And it really realigned his priorities and his values. And he wrestled for a time with the idea of success. And maybe you can relate to that. I know I have, even more recently, been figuring out my own mission and my own offerings. And that brings me to what Dallas shared on this conversation on The Middle with me. He said, I really came to know in that experience of losing everything, and now even the success of The Chosen. He said some days he gets like all this praise and love and appreciation for The Chosen, but every day, he says, he also, with that love, gets criticism. And so what he has come to understand is that he is not in charge of what is done with the fishes and the loaves. If you think of that story, that miracle of Jesus, where he fed with this offering from a young boy's lunch, 5,000 plus, this mob of people, this crowd, that small offering fed over 5,000. We know that from the scriptures. And Dallas Jenkins was sharing with me that he doesn't get to control whether or not his offering, his fish and loaves, feeds 5,000 or feeds one. He's just in charge of the offering. Don't you love that? It's so easy to get hooked into comparisons. Why are they getting that many likes? Why do they sell this many books? Why do they have this many viewers to their YouTube video? Whatever that is. Why did they get picked for the lead in the play? Why did they get made AP on the mission? Why did they already get engaged? Why are they getting straight A's, right? It's so easy to do that. And if we're not careful, that comparison can shut us down from the offering even happening. I wonder if we just hypothetically consider here that this young boy that day had his fish and loaves, heard the call for the offering, and looked around and realized his friend had brought a really cool, organically grown, homemade, gluten-free bread from home in his lunch. Maybe he looked over and saw his friend didn't just bring fishes, but he brought steaks. And he thought, well, why would I offer my offering? My offering's nothing compared to my friend who's rocking it on the offering. What if this young boy kept his offering to himself, his lunch to himself, his fishes and his loaves to himself because he didn't feel it was enough, cute enough, smart enough, strong enough, brave enough, bold enough, creative enough to share? I love that in this story in the Bible, we see that through Jesus, consecration can happen and our offering is expanded and made enough. But maybe it's not always made enough for 5,000. Maybe it's made enough for 5. And if we're not careful in the world we're living in of YouTube and Instagram and influencers and followers and likes and friends and subscribers and all those things, we can get confused over what success is defined as. And instead, I'm going to invite you, as we're figuring out things, that building Zion in a way that helps prepare for the Savior to come means we all have to bring our fish and our loaves. And that if we get trapped in comparisons, we're going to block miracles to come. So all we're in charge of, as my friend Dallas Jenkins shared with me on the middle, is the offering. So I'm going to ask you, as you go to God tonight, if you don't know, ask him. Ganel-Lyn talked today on figuring it out about what my fish and loaf might be. Can you bring to my heart or mind a fish, a loaf offering I have? Maybe it's checking on a neighbor. Maybe it's you're really good at gardening. Maybe it's spending time reading to a child in your home or in your neighborhood. Maybe it's checking on your ministering sister or brother. Maybe it's starting a blog. Maybe it's going on a mission and finally putting your papers in because you're not even sure what COVID's going to bring and what the future is going to bring and what a mission's going to look like. Maybe the offering you have is that you're just going to get up and make your bed today and try because depression and anxiety has been overtaking you. And your offering is showing up today, going to the grocery store, starting a load of laundry, right? Doing your homework, checking on a friend, going to school, online school. Maybe your offering is just showing up. Whatever it is, I hope that as you pray to God and he puts it on your heart and mind, you aren't stopped by comparisons, that you don't take your fish and loaf and hold it up to someone else's on Pinterest and decide to hide it away. And then if you've already put an offering out there, you've already turned over your lunch to the Savior, so to speak, and you're waiting for the 5,000 miracle and it's not come. Instead of getting shut down by that disappointment, go to God and ask him to take that from you. Ask him to help comfort your soul, to feel good about the offering that you have given, to know that it is enough, that as you partner with God and I partner with God, that together we can build Zion with our offerings. I hope that this message in some way blesses you and that you'll share it. You'll share it with a friend that has their own loaf of bread and fish. Maybe your friend that is coming to mind needs this more because they're figuring this out more. The season they're in right now, this is a more challenging theme for them. I hope that you will share with them, that you see them, that you see their offering and you value it, that you honor it. I know for me the last few weeks, people that have reached out to me to thank me for my offerings, whether it's a book I've written, CD I've produced, a show I host, a talk I've given, a post on Instagram. Many messages have come at a time where I have wondered and questioned and felt discouraged, and they come just right at the right time. And I always love to consider that God was nudging them to help answer a prayer of my heart. So maybe today your offering will be an expression of gratitude and acknowledgement of someone else's offering. That is such a gift. in building Zion that we can give to each other, that of celebrating one another, expressing gratitude and support for one another. Sometimes that's the best offering we can give to our brothers and our sisters. Thank you again for joining me here, for connecting here on the Onward Production site, and for going along with me in this journey of figuring it out. And we'll see you again in a few weeks.